Welcome back. Joining me now is the founder of Varsity Spirits, Jeff Webb. Hey, Jeff.
Hi, how are you? Good to be
Nice
with you.
to hear you got there all at home. We're all trying to get by. See, my first question to you is, I want to watch sports, but nothing is going on.
You're
How
right.
are you entertaining yourself?
I know you're exactly right. It's difficult. You're kind of left to seeing the reruns of old Super Bowl games and college basketball and soccer games. It's rough. I think we all really miss live sports. I saw a doctor interviewed last night, emergency room doctor in New York, who had been a former Major League Soccer player, and they were asking him about, did his sports background help him through the grind? And of course he said yes. And as they were getting ready to end, he said, "Can I say one more thing?" And he says, to all of you athletes out there, we're going to need you. Stay in shape, keep the faith, because when we get over the hump here and things get clear, we're all going to need that release and that camaraderie and that connectedness we get through sports. I thought it was very profound.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't imagine how difficult it is to be an athlete right now. And you run camps for cheerleaders. You have cheerleading camps. So
Yes.
if sporting events are being affected, how are you guys changing how you do things?
Well, it's the same for us. And we also do a number of over 200 competitions across the country, some of which you may have seen on ESPN. They're national championships and world championships. So we've actually had to cancel a number of those. We've had to postpone the world championships to hopefully later in June if we can get it in. We're holding a date anyway. So, it's been very difficult because what happens is it's forced us to remove this experience for all these young athletes that means so much to them that they've trained all year for. It's really heartbreaking. And all we can do, we're trying to keep in touch with them. We're trying to encourage them and be as kind of inspirational as we can. And again, hopefully when we get the all clear, we can get back to making these events and these camps happen for them.
Yeah, and I hope that they will come sooner rather than later.
You got it.
For
Exactly.
all the, teenage girls and some guys waiting on the sideline and they want to be cheerleaders themselves, what do you think is something they can do right now since your camps are not running, your competitions are being paused? What can they do right now?
Well, again, what we're telling you is try to stay in shape, be conditioning, try to do whatever you can individually to hone your skills. And, we're also asking them to really take this time to reflect on how they can use their position for their school, for their gym, for their communities. It's a leadership position, and really take the time to talk about when things get better, how they can be as effective as possible.
Yeah. And then tell us about your camp and how did you personally get into this?
I was a cheerleader at the University of Oklahoma, and after I graduated from college, I decided to start this organization that trained high school and college cheerleaders. And the idea was to bring what you see now on the sidelines, all the athleticism and the entertainment, that didn't really exist. That was kind of my concept. So I brought that, and we started doing these training camps all over we're based in Memphis, Tennessee. So we started in the South, and then we gradually expanded throughout the country. It was, so I was actually teaching those camps, and then we were able to then eventually get into doing competitions with the idea that the competition would give a platform for people to be able to really see how talented and impactful these young people could be. Then eventually got into also providing uniforms and equipment. So, we try to do everything that we can to support the sport and the young people that are in it. The camps now are done primarily on college campuses during the summer. We also have home camps where we send our instructors into the school and the town. And they're usually 4 days long, and they've got, the curriculum is everything from leadership to, crowd control, crowd motivation, but then also the athletic skills that it takes to be a modern cheerleader. We're hoping to get those going as soon as we can.
Yeah, Jeff, you said you were a cheerleader yourself?
Yes.
What is that like? I don't know too much about cheerleaders, but I feel in a sense it's such an underappreciated thing.
Well, thank you for saying that. Appreciate that. I felt that for a long time. And that's one of the reasons we've created these opportunities to really showcase what these athletes do. But it's really begun. It's a global phenomenon now. We have an international federation. We're a provisional member of the International Olympic Committee. We have a world championship with 70 countries from around the world participating. So it's something that's growing. It's kind of a unique modern sport because it skews young. There's men and women. It's entertaining, it's athletic, and it's very telegenic. When people see it on TV or in live, it's like, whoa, that is so visual.
Oh, you can do that trick, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you've got potential, I can tell.
Thank you. I'm not that flexible. One last thing I do want to ask you. For the college administrator, since you came from that world, you run things, you know how things work on campus. For college administrators, probably they are not really thinking about summer or fall yet because everybody is trying to get through the spring semester or the spring quarter. And people are saying, oh, are we going to have graduation even, the ceremony? Obviously, you're going to get your degree, but are we going to have the graduation ceremony? And then how are we going to successfully migrate all of our courses to an online teaching form, so on and so forth. So like a summer event is probably not what they're thinking. Can you walk through us? What are they working on? Because I imagine for our viewers, a lot of people out there, they're really worried. Am I going to get my degree? Yes, you will. But am I going to have all the access to whatever I normally have access to? Am I going to have the same college experience? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, well, let's be serious. It's a very difficult time. And, so many of these educators are, we're not really prepared to make this big shift to kind of digital distribution, if you will. And so I think they're all trying on that. Some have been more successful. Some had a little bit of a head start, had more emphasis on that before the crisis really hit. It's happening at the elementary school and secondary school level as well. And it's a struggle. And you're right. Most extracurricular activities obviously been canceled as well too. Teams can't meet, the clubs can't meet, and so it's a very difficult time. And everybody's doing the best they can, I think, to deliver whatever value they can, whether it's academic value, whether it's the kind of things that we were talking about, about coaches staying in touch with their athletes. Let me say one thing about that too, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I don't mind.
I've seen a number of social media messages and correspondence about coaches and the relationship with their students and their athletes, and the fact that having this kind of separation for an athlete or from someone that's in a band or an orchestra or a chess club, whatever, that kind of social network that they have through their school or through their gym, it's really taking a toll because so many of these kids, their coaches they're not their parents, but they're very inspirational and they're very important to them, especially yes. And so it's important. If I can say one thing to any of you who are out there coaching or mentoring, that this is the time to stay in touch with these young people. They need you. They need that connection. They need that perspective. They need that optimism, and they need that inspiration. So I think that's one of the things that we're really trying to encourage. And I hope that people everywhere will do the same thing. We all need each other right now more than ever.
Yeah, more than ever. All right. Thank you for your words of inspiration. And it's great to have you join us today, Jeff.
Thank you. It's been a real pleasure.